So here we are on the kind of backside of the Muckalee Creek within the Flint River watershed. And kind of behind me you can see this wetland area. So a wetland is an area that is always wet. It's pretty self-explanatory. A lot of times they're near swamps or rivers. And so a large majority of the year the land is covered by water or is completely saturated depending on how much rain there has or has not been. So a lot of different animals inhabit wetlands. It's a great watering hole for all of the native wildlife. We can hear all the different birds around us. Saw some deer and turtle tracks earlier. But this is a cool place, and wetlands are very important ecologically because they act as sponges to kind of help soak up and stop the flow of pollution into the main water source or river or lake of the watershed. And in the world, there are two types of pollution. So you have point source and non-point source pollution. So point source pollution means that you can literally point to the source of the pollution. Like think about oil spills or like a sewage treatment plant overrunning or pipelines busting or flowing directly into the water. So those are point source pollutions. And then you have non-point source pollution, which means you cannot point to the source of the pollution. And that is the most common type of pollution. It's the vast majority of it, and everyone contributes to it, and so everyone is responsible for picking it up. It's things like agriculture runoff, urban runoff, littering, soil erosion even, animal waste and waste byproducts getting into the water. So everyone kind of contributes to it, including animals and kind of the earth, because sediment can count as erosion depending on where you are and how much sediment is in the watershed. So wetlands provide this kind of barrier, kind of like the riparian zone, where they kind of slow and stop and filter out some of the pollutants before they can get to the main river or the main water source. A lot of plants that are here in the wetland are actually adapted. It's really cool. They're adapted to those pollutants. So they actually soak up those pollutants or kind of dilute them in the water, and it makes it really cool, and they're really important. They are protected in the state of Georgia, so it's just a really cool feature about your watershed and parts in your watershed, and it's super important to have those wetlands and protect them within your watershed.